All right, so I am super excited as a your new virtual cast ko lagi, and today we have a guest, and I'm so happy, so proud, so honored to have this guest, Rashmi Giri. Rashmi Diju is here today. So this is a virtual cast, Rashmi Diju, which means we are going to have a conversation regarding what you do, and let's just find out digital space ma what lot of people are doing and what you are doing. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Shweta.
Okay, so we have Rashmi Giri today here on our virtual cast, and let's just find out from her itself. So, Rashmi Di, let's start with the introduction. Let's talk about your company, that is Feed Network, and also RQ Media. Can you tell us about more about yourself?
Sure, Shweta. So basically, these two companies are two separate companies. So under Feeds Network, I run all my theme pages and help other small online stores to create campaigns and help them advertise on other social media platforms. And under Archimedia, this is my main business where I spend most of my time. And under this business, we are more focused on drop shipping through paid and viral campaign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rashmiti, मलाई ठ्याक्कै सोध्न मन लागिहाल्यो अहिले यति बेलामा. So where are you based and yeah, where are you right now?
I'm in Mexico right now, but I'm based in US.
Um, I hope the listeners will do understand that we are trying to bring in different experts, which is digital marketing experts, and them sharing their journey and a lot of information. So okay, so how long it's been, or how long it's been for you in digital industry?
Let's see. I think I started around 2013, and in the beginning I wasn't really good at it. I didn't have all the skills that required to be good in the digital industry, so I didn't continue it. In 2015, I started looking into it again, and it sort of worked for me, and I've been doing it continuously.
Okay, so that's 2015. And अलिकति background भन्नुपर्दा where you were born and when did you go to US, or what were your education like? Do you have any background? In do you want to share something about that as well?
Sure. I was born and raised in Nepal. I did some schooling in India, and then I came back to Nepal to finish up my +2. And after +2, I applied to come to States. In 2007, I came to States to pursue my studies, and I have been here ever since.
Okay. Okay. So अलिकति digital industry को बारेमा भन्नुपर्दा, when I think about it, it seems like there are people who are doing a lot of digital businesses, different sort of digital businesses, but then it's kind of a secretive still, because people are not actively coming out and speaking about their work, and people are not speaking about the industry where how they are making money, so all that sort of stuff. So do you want to say something on that? Because it really took me some time. हजुरसँग पनि यो कुरा गर्नको लागि we have been planning about this, but it really took us a good amount of a time to be here right now to do this. So can you just highlight something on that, on from your end? Why is it like this?
I think people do this for two reasons. The first one is that digital marketing world is very competitive. And then the second one has to be, it's, people have a lot of biased opinion on what influencer or digital marketer or dropshipper do. So, and all that creates a lot of distraction. So I think to avoid that, people just don't share.
Okay, I mean that actually sums up why, although in a real time, like we do know that this person is doing blogging, this person is doing drop shipping, but they aren't very comfortable, and it's not the fact that they want to hide it, like intentionally hide it, but like you said, probably it's biased opinion, and yeah, okay, that gives us a picture, and I think people who are listening to. us right now will also have the same thing. Okay, so let's talk about one of your company which you mentioned, Feeds Network, that does Instagram growth, and you mentioned, and I think audience needs to know as well. You were a part of one of our session where you were sharing a lot of experience and the things with the Instagram growth. So let's talk about that. So can you tell us how many followers you have? Because that kind of created a little bit of buzz. So yeah, let's start from there.
So I have little over 5 million followers on, so that is basically, I have 4 million followers on my team pages, and I have little over 1 million followers on all my multiple business pages.
Okay. And how do you grow these accounts? Because when I hear 4 million, that's 4 million. So how do you do that? So how do you grow your account?
There's no easy way to answer that, Shweta. It's a big question. You know, there's so many things and so many strategies goes into towards growing the account. So to answer that question, I need to know if somebody's looking for growing a small business, or somebody is trying to be a influencer. So it all depends on the answer.
And you also mentioned earlier that Feeds Network actually helps these small accounts to grow. So that's what it is all about, if I'm not wrong.
Not to grow, but to grow the businesses. Does that make sense? We just don't only give them followers. Yeah, followers is something that comes with it, but we are more focused on giving them sales or leads, that sort of stuff.
Wow. Okay, so can you share how do you grow accounts? Like, can you share at least three of your top hacks that probably in 2020 that works? So maybe people who are listening to us can find value in it.
There's no easy way to answer this question. I can probably write a book on this topic because there's not only few things or 3 steps or 10 steps that goes into growing an account. There's hundreds of things that goes into growing the account, but if I have to pick the top 3 or my favorite ones, it has to be the, let's say the first one will be the new features on Instagram. So basically what you want to do is like keep on tabs on Instagram updates. So Instagram updates are the things Instagram publishes on their pages. So they are literally telling us if you use these new features, we will give you more impressions or more new followers and that sort of stuff, which helps us grow. So for example, back in 2016, Instagram came up with the story features, which help other businesses to grow very fast. And in 2018 was IGTV, which this one is my personal favorite because it all helped me grow almost like 500,000 followers just using this feature, nothing else, just this one. And then in 2020 is the new feature Reels. I'm not sure if this feature is available in Nepal, but these are the new updates they've been working on and telling us to use. And beside the big updates, there are also small updates Instagram do, which will be in form of like a new filter, presets, new stickers, emoji, location tabs. So you wanna, when they come up with those, you want to be using these features because they literally prioritize your content over anything for using those new updated features. So let's see, the second one has to be the content, because obviously everybody knows content is king. When you provide good content, it grabs people attention. They come to your page, or they stop by your page, or they involve in some kind of a liking or engagement sort of action, or they save it, which puts you in the positive side of the algorithm and helps you grow. And the third one, the third one has to be the engagement. This is also one of the big ones because it literally, you can see the results right away. So you want to be focused on the half an hour before you after the post, and then engage with the similar size accounts on your niche, or engagement with the bigger accounts, so that they can sometimes, when you get lucky, they can do the same for you, which also helps you grow and puts you on the positive side of the algorithm.
Hmm. Hmm.
So those are the ones you want to be focusing on.
Okay. And which means that we have to keep ourselves updated with what's happening or what's new, and probably yeah, making sure that we continuously uh, doing Instagram or posting those kind of pictures using those new features. Okay. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, okay. So let's talk about the time as well. So how long does it take to grow your account, or what is it like from your end? Because since you have multiple accounts that you have, so
If you're growing an account from like zero, so it should take, if you're doing all these steps, and then if you're providing good content and videos and all that good stuff, if you don't grow within 3 months, then you need to dump those account and restart a new one. If you do, I guarantee you, if you start a new account and do all these steps, there is no way you wouldn't grow.
mm-hmm. Okay, that's quite insightful. And okay, so do you personally grow these account, or how does it work?
So yes, I started growing these accounts back in 2014, and I did everything on that side of the business from 2014 to 2018. But workload became too much for me around 2018 as my business grows. So I handed over these accounts to my brother. He kind of sort of handles that side of the business.
Okay, okay. So can be a really good takeaway for somebody who's listening to us. So if you are looking to grow your Instagram account, then probably take a new one, start doing it for first 3 months, like you said, and then use all that technique that we talked about earlier. Okay, so that's quite useful information. So okay, now what not to do while growing your account? Because I'm sure there are a couple of things that you have realized or that probably will no, yeah, so what are those stuff that we should be careful about?
I think for this one, Shweta, I have to go with the shadow ban. So just don't do anything that puts your account in a risk of a shadow ban. For example, don't abuse the hashtags, don't do too much engagement in the same hours, or don't do too much follow, unfollow. And the last one, I think the most important one, is don't spread any negativity, because when you do that, other people are reporting you. And then when there's too many reports, you will automatically go into shadow ban or even at a risk of losing your account.
So we recently did, let's say, a guest facilitator event where you came to our one of the our event, and then you were talking about how to grow Instagram. And so one of the questions that was asked to me when I at that point of time post Instagram Mahalda Piri that 5 million followers. Where is the 5 million followers? It looks like you do have multiple accounts, but then you haven't proactively advertised yourself or personal branded yourself in your own account. And is there anything behind that that you want to share, highlight? Because that's quite interesting for so many. Because in Nepal, if you look at it, a lot of people are trying to grow their account, and those are personal accounts. So the thing that you talked about, which is let's say growing accounts, multiple accounts in a different niche, that's quite not the norm. Here a lot of people are trying to do their own account and becoming a personal brand. So can you something highlight on that, and is it a conscious decision or what goes behind that?
I think that is a valid question. And I didn't pursue personal branding because it was never really my first choice. That's just not something I wanted to do personally or actively pursue it. And I think I also lack confidence to put myself out there. So I just don't see myself doing that.
I mean, okay, so basically we can say that it's the conscious decision of not putting yourself out there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I mean that also gives certain perspective to I think people who are listening to us right now. Yes. Okay. So moving on. Okay, so let's like it because you have been in the Instagram domain from quite some time. Let's talk about influencers. Have you worked with influencers or not? So yeah, let's just go there.
Okay. Yeah, I work with a lot of influencers, hundreds of influencers.
And can you share something? How do you use influencers for your business? How does it work?
Sure. So we basically hire them to make content for us and post, and we leverage their fan base to sell our products.
Okay. In that, how do you reach out to them? Because that's also quite a task, I believe. So, what do you do to reach out to them?
I already have an existing PR list. I just reach out to them. But if somebody is starting from the big small business side, you can just DM them or kick. There's an app called Kick. Everybody, all Instagrammers have it. You can just contact them on there, or you can contact their management company.
And okay, so basically, there's a three-way. Either you directly reach out to them, or else make a PR list, and that is another way. The third one is you said there is an app called Kick. So
Yes.
these are the three ways. Okay. And is there anything over the period of time that you have realized there are things that gets you directly to influencer and there are things that you shouldn't be doing when you're reaching out to influencer? Is there anything that you want to share? Is there any tips or
Yeah, actually, in the beginning, when I was just starting out and my business pages were very small and then not so big, when I didn't know how to reach out to them, so I will just send them, I'll just send them like a one sentence DM, like, "Hey, do you want a shout out or something?" And I will never get a response back. So I didn't understand why they were not responding it to me because I was not being professional, right? So once I started making professional emails and all that, they started becoming more responsive to me.
Mhm. So the answer to that is a professional email.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And what was the experience working with influencer? Because again, since you are working with multiple influencers on different campaigns, would you like to share how does it work or what's the experience like? Again, for a lot of influencers here in Nepal, probably it will be insightful information for them. So,
Mhm. Most of my experience working with influencers is mostly positive. 90% of the people I work with are very professional because they are trying to grow. I'm trying to grow my business. So it's a two-way street.
and can you share like how do they charge or how much they charge? How does it work?
So when we reach out to them, I mostly work with micro influencers. So most of the time, these shout outs or contents are in exchange for a free product, or sometimes it's in exchange for a fee.
hmm And okay, okay. And is there any number that makes them a micro influencer?
It could be anything. For me, micro influencers is 50,000 to 100,000 followers.
Okay, okay. Okay. And when you reach out to influencers, like there is something that I've heard. I'm not sure here in Nepal how actively we are using it, but there's something called as media kit. So what is
Yeah.
media kit? Because a lot of influencers they use media kit.
Um, a media kit is basically any given influencer resume, which contains information about their engagement, what kind of followers they have, and like what kind of impressions they give on any given post, or their engagement, and the brands they have worked with in the past.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, so 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 you reach out to influencer through a formal email, and once they probably they want to be part of it, they send you media kit. Is that how it works, or Can you just highlight upon the process?
When you reach out to them, you already ask for a media kit. If they respond, then they will respond with the media kit.
Okay, so you write an email where you ask for a media kit as well. So that's
Yes.
okay.
In the first former email, you explain what your campaign is, if they're interested, and then media kit is something that just comes with the email because they're interested in your project.
Okay, okay. And when while you are researching of influencer, how do you actually research basically? I mean, that's also quite a thing when you are doing a campaign or when and then in your particular space, you are doing it for the global audience or global campaign. So yeah, basically my question, how do you research?
Um, for me, I have been in this industry for so long. So I already, like I said, I already have a PR list I reach out to. But if somebody is starting out and they have no idea who to contact in their niche, there is a website called Influencer Marketing Hub where you can go and research on a on a particular influencer what you're looking for, if they're a good fit for your product or whatever you're trying to promote.
So influencer marketing hub. All right, so moving on, I'm sure now this is a really interesting one because I do want to know what is a struggle working with the influencer, and I'm sure you must have some funny experience or maybe some, I don't know, but some different experience than just because you said 90%. It's a great experience, but what about those 10%? So let's just talk about that as well.
Sure. So the one of the main problem I have had and I still have with some influencers is getting them to post on time. Like once you agree on the price or once you agree on the time and then the content of the video and everything, getting them to post on an agreed time has always been a challenge to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something I still work on.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything funny or any?
When you're working with the influencer, you have to understand most of the influencer, these are very young people
Mm-hmm.
and these they have colleges or school or high school. They have like regular lives too. So I think time management is something they have to do it on their part and my part too.
Okay. And apart from that, apart from working with this, let's say, influencers, is there any celebrity or any big influencer that you have worked with that you probably want to share your experience?
I have never worked with a celebrity, but I was very close to working with Cardi B. Back in 2018, I was already in contact with her management company, and then we were negotiating on a price. So back and forth, it was taking some time, and then almost towards like almost when we were agreeing to the price, her album, the first album, Invasion of Privacy, dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, she hit the billboard, and then obviously her prices skyrocketed, and we couldn't like that particular campaign. I couldn't afford her anymore. But that was a funny incident.
Okay, okay. So that was your experience trying to work with the Cardi B. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so this one is going to be even more interesting because now we are talking about the second part of your business, which is RQ Media, where you do drop shipping. And personally, Rashmi, I want you to say this because I have been in touch with people who are doing drop shipping. And for me, you're the only female that I know who does drop shipping. And that kind of makes me very happy, proud, and then, oh wow, so there are so many people in this space, and one of them I also know myself. One, it's like, "Kya raw Milo laksai." So that's something I want to say you right here, and people need to know.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on, let's go to the drop shipping part, right? Where we will talk a lot of things. I will like it to begin with. To begin with, what is drop shipping, Diju? Because not many people know. So if you want to just highlight.
Drop shipping is basically selling other people's product
Mhm.
without holding the inventory.
Okay. And do you remember when was the first time you hear or you heard about dropshipping? Because it is still a very new industry domain for a lot of people. So do you remember your first time?
Actually, I do remember it. It was back in 2013, and my sister happened to mention that she came across this article where she heard about young millennials are selling stuff online, buying it from different countries, and without even holding the inventory and stuff like that. So after that, I on my breaks or even when I have a day off, I started researching, googling about it.
Okay. So can I say that you were Googling stuff to find about drop shipping? You had this idea, but then not the word. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, exactly. I didn't know the word dropshipping.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And how long it took you? Because I think when you said it's 2013, what was it like for you? Because every dropshipper has their own journey. So how long does it took you to make your first sale? Do you remember? And what was it like at that point of time?
Yes, of course, I vividly remember this. So I started. I already had a job, but I started this in 2013 as a like a side hustle to see if it worked or not.
Hmm.
And but back in 2013, like I said earlier, I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right skills, so I ended up losing all my 5 years of saving and that sort of stuff. So I gave up. I ran away, you know. And then after 3 months into it, after losing everything, um,
Wow.
I gave up. I gave up on my online journey, and then in 2015, you see stuff online, you see other people's are doing it, and this and that. There was a little bit more information in 2015 compared to 2013. So I told myself what I did wrong in 2013. So I accepted it. For a long time I was in denial. What was the things that was wrong? What I did in 2013. And then I was more in the beginning in 2015, I was more focused on like learning the skill, the mindset and everything. So right around August, I took a leap of faith and then quit my job.
Mhm.
And then 4 months into it learning, I did my first sale.
Okay, okay. And this was 2015.
This was towards the end of 2015.
Okay, okay. Right. And when you, what was this first sales experience like?
To be honest, Shweta, my first sale experience was very overwhelming for me because I have never done anything like that before. I still remember when I first my first sale. I think it was a daytime. I sold my first ad, and I was waiting on a Shopify store to see what kind of traffic I will get. And then I think 1 hour went by. I saw a lot of traffic, a lot of clicks, and a lot of add to carts, but no sale. So that was kind of sad. But and within like a 5 minutes towards the end, I saw three sales coming in. So I started jumping up and down in the bed. I was so excited, and it just hit me like, oh my God, I sold my first product, right? So how am I gonna send it to them? I don't even know how to fulfill this order, how long the shipping is gonna take, where to even buy it, that sort of stuff.
So it was like a long learning curve for me in the beginning.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's so interesting. After losing so much money, after after doing what you did for such a long time, and but I think it's kind of very sweet and relatable for so many people who are actually, because I get a lot of students who tell me that, okay, are you going to start a course on drop shipping and this and that? Are you going to get us a mentor? So But that also makes me realize that how important the mentorship can be when you are starting something like drop shipping or other stuff. But okay, I mean that's
That was
interesting.
one of the mistake I did in the beginning, not having a mentorship. I was trying to figure out every step. It's every step is a mountain of a step for me because I have no knowledge, no experience, nobody's teaching me. So in the beginning, having a mentorship, it eliminates a lot of process and it saves a lot of time.
That's true. Couldn't agree more. All right. And what kind of product do you prefer or do you sell in your drop shipping business?
I sell everything actually that sells, like
Okay.
from gadgets, to accessory to jewelry to clothing. But my favorite is cosmetics and skincare, and that's where all of my successful campaign has been.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Moving on, I have few more questions regarding this. How do you find supplies or suppliers? Because since you are based in US and I mean right now you are in Mexico, but then how do you find the suppliers and what is this process like? Or do you go fly to China and look at the suppliers? How does it work?
I did fly to China, but but jokes apart. Um, no, you don't have to go anywhere. You can find them all online nowadays.
And they send you the product. I mean, do you ask for a samples or you just choose your supplier and move on with it, or do you ask for a sample just before selling it? Or
Do ask, I do ask multiple people for to see their shipping time and then the quality, and I also do a random check, acting like I'm one of the customers to keep a tab on the quality.
that's interesting. Okay, now do you use I mean when you're thinking of a startup or when you're thinking of drop shipping as a business, what platform do you use to advertise on and how do you choose them? I want to also little talk about the investment because you are probably now in a place where you have the successful campaigns, you have multiple pages, but how do somebody who's probably starting out or how do they choose their own platform to advertise on?
So first you have to find a product and see the potential, right?
Mhm.
And then if you believe it can do well, you have to, sometimes you might think it will do well or not well, but you have to test it, like you have to test it on Instagram, Facebook, or Yahoo, or Google, or YouTube, whatever I can put my ads on. Those are the things I go for the first, and I test it, and whatever I see the potential, I just scale up on those.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
Did
And
I answer that?
I mean,
Okay.
I did understand, but you do try all the platforms. So it's not that you choose only Instagram because you kind of have now a lot more in-depth knowledge on Instagram, but regardless, you choose multiple platform advertise.
Yes. The thing is, I choose Instagram over anything because that's where I have done most of the all the viral campaigns. But sometimes Instagram audience is very different than Facebook audience. So some like cosmetic products or clothing or jewelry sell so well in Instagram compared to Facebook. But Facebook is gadgets and dog products and then pet care and that kind of stuff. So you have to test all the platform to see where your customers are and then go from there.
Okay, okay, okay. And when you are talking about drop shipping now, something just crosses my mind right now. Um, did you invested your own self to start? And how does the investment part worked for you?
In the beginning, for the first 4 months, 5 months, I was doing it with my money because I wasn't bringing any sales or I wasn't buying any ads. But once I have the first viral product and I needed more money to scale it up, that's when I had to bring in an investor.
And just let's talk about your successful campaign and what goes behind that campaign. Can you share something about that?
So, my first viral campaign was in the beginning of 2016. There was a lot of buzz around new Korean skincare type of products. So, I started looking into it because I was interested in selling a skincare product. So, after searching for hours and hours, I came across this product which I thought it was really cool at that time. Everything about that product was really great. The landing page was really great. The demo video in their pages were really great. So I went on Amazon and ordered some of the product for me, and then when it arrived, I used it on myself, and I made like a very small video of how to use it. Amateur stuff. I would not show that video to anybody now, but and then after filming it, I ran it across my Instagram pages. Back then, I had 2 million followers. So after, it was very surprising to me because when I first posted it, it didn't get much engagement. But after I check my store online, within first 1 hour, I got like 19 to 20 units of sales, and then right then I knew I have a winning product, and there's a chance of scaling it.
Okay, and in this drop shipping thing, do you still see anything as a challenge or a struggle now after being in this industry? So, is there any challenge in the beginning and you still facing now? So,
Yes, definitely. There was a lot of challenges and struggles in the beginning when I was starting out. And the hardest one was when I started buying a lot of campaigns, started hiring a lot of influencer for the project. There was this one particular company that came after me and started contacting everybody I was working with, all the influencer, all the theme pages owner, and told them literally not to work with me because I didn't have a history with them and that sort of stuff. But I once I had the investor, I was I was able to outbid them and buy back all those ad spaces. I was all even scared and buying more spaces than it should. So it all worked out for the best at the end.
okay, I think I have asked quite a question regarding RQ Media that I wanted to in terms of drop shipping. I just hope that people who are listening to us will find some value and probably help them one or the other way, probably with the information, but if not, then the mindset at least. So, okay, so I have now few personal, I mean, not personal, but not personal as a personal, but more like apart from your work, so I want to know more about you. Let's say first, I want to start with: do you have, I don't know, what is it like for you in a day? So that's number one question, and then I have less of the thing. So, what is it like for you in a day if you have to talk about a day in your life? How does it start and how does it end as an online business owner?
Um, so I start my day working, and it ends with working most of the time because I work most of the hours on a given day.
But okay, so that definitely is there. I mean, there is no shortcut to anything else. But I think there are a couple of things that I've noticed because we have done this back and forth. We have had this conversation, and there are certain tools, there's certain things that you are doing that it kinds of very interesting to me. Like when we talked about earlier, you said, "No, I don't have a Facebook in my laptop because it just keeps me distracted, and I don't have it." And then when we talked about other things, you said, okay, can I send you Evernote? Because there are certain tools you're using, there's certain timing that you follow. You mentioned earlier, okay, I'm available only this to this because so I don't know, it seems to be a very interesting schedule that you have. And I'm not sure whether you're very open to share about it, but there's also a lot of, if I have to put it across this way, there's a lot of discipline, there's a lot of self-awareness, and these sort of stuff. So I don't know. So
Um, yeah, getting distracted when you're working from home and for yourself, getting distracted is very easy. So I try to delete everything. First, I ask myself what is keeping me from being focused, right? Focus is the main problem. So I will try to make a list of things that keeps me distracted. I will try to actively eliminate those things when I'm working, like whether it's a social media, whether it's a phone or any kind of a distraction that keeps me unfocused. And one thing that really, really keeps me disciplined is journalizing. I journalize everything, like from like when I wake up, or how much did I do in 1 hour or 2 hour, or scheduling everything. So I write down everything, and it's really it's almost like a mind game I play with myself to keep me more focused and do more on the upcoming days.
yeah, I was quite fascinated in a way when we talked earlier about on a different conversation. But so the actively the awareness that you have about the things that works for you, the thing that doesn't works for you, it's so well ingrained that is quite a thing. At the same time, I love the part when you said, I have this to-do list and I make sure that I do it like you shared right now. So, okay, I mean, kudos to that, and thank you so much for sharing that, because I think a lot of people who are, when I think about the online business, this is very personally that I want to share it with you. People, I feel a lot of online business owner are successful because of course it's digital, there's an endless possibility, it's you are not bound with the country or this or that. So I think that, but number two, what I've also realized is, I think people who are into online space are very self motivated, they're very self aware, and if you don't have that awareness, I think many times people fail. So I think that that is another thing that it kind of is very interesting to me, to see. And again, if there is somebody, and I also believe that if you are very self motivated and you know you have the self awareness, you can be actually successful in anything you do in life. However, a lot of time people who are tech savvy in a digital businesses tend to do it better because they know how to use the tools for themselves. So, okay, I don't know what I'm saying, what I'm blabbering right now, but all I wanted to conclude it saying, I
Like
think
what
it's very
motivates me?
important mindset. It's very important
Yeah.
mindset that you need to have. Okay, so moving on, I have few more questions. And is it possible? In Nepal, and I mean, so you were in the US, right? So that was it. But there is quite a different thing here and different challenges in terms of payment gateway. Do you have any idea? Because you said your brother is here who's doing some Instagram thing. And is there anything? Do you want to share? Are you aware of about this space or this part of the world?
I don't have much knowledge on the payment gateway because I have never personally looked into it, but this is just based on simple Google search that our national bank kind of blocks the payment, international payments, because they need to get into more details and that kind of stuff. But what got me thinking is, like, a lot of these big companies, they're doing like investment outside and inside the business, so they are moving the money around. So I think we're just asking the wrong person. I'm pretty sure there's a way around it.
Okay, okay. And are you okay? So now I want to move the question to: are you leveraging platforms like TikTok? Because recently, I mean, if you see news and everything, TikTok is one of the most downloaded app in 2020, and all sort
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yes, of course. Of course, I use TikTok, but that is just for my personal entertainment. I haven't used it for my business. Actually, my sister runs a couple of a very successful viral type of product campaign in TikTok. So she will be the right person to reach out to if you have any questions on TikTok.
Okay, okay, which means I will probably bring her as well to talk about TikTok. Okay, so all right, so okay, let's yeah, and I'll try to find everything possible in terms of what she's doing in TikTok. Okay, moving on with the travel thing because I think that's quite interesting because a lot of people when they very recently I did mention your photo in my social media. Everybody was talking about two things. One is about your travel, and another thing about your 5 million followers. So let's talk about travel now because we did talk about 5 million followers. You seem to be traveling quite a bit, and yeah. So can you tell us about your that part of your thing?
Life.
Right.
So all my work, both of my companies are online. Everything 100% is online. So I'm not tied up to any place. So I like to explore when I'm not working, like on the weekends or in the evenings whenever I have time. So yeah, I just love to explore.
And I also realized something very interesting about you. Uh, like what you are basically doing is even though you're traveling to the new country, you have your schedules at your point where you're working 5 days a week, whereas you're going out and doing a lot of exploring cities, different cities on a weekends. That way, even though you are traveling, but then I don't know. I mean, again, the self-awareness and the discipline.
Yeah, like even when I'm traveling, I'm very conscious about constantly working. Like you will never see me going anywhere from Monday to Friday. I am like there from 9 to 9. So on the Fridays and Saturdays when I'm a little less busy, I just do a lot of exploring on those days or in the evenings when I have time.
Okay, that's also very interesting in terms of mindset and in terms of how you're living. Okay, and let's talk about a little bit of your family and friends. Are they aware? Because a lot of people in online business, parents don't understand, family don't understand, friends don't understand, and they're completely by themselves. So it's a lot of a case that I've heard. So I want to know what's on your end.
My parents do know that I sell stuff online, maybe not the details, but they do understand the basic dynamic of the business. And as far as friends and inner circle, everyone in that circle is in some kind of a online space business.
Oh wow, which okay, so yeah, now I do realize. So you have your brother who does the Instagram thing, you have your sister who does TikTok thing, and I mean, and then other sort of online businesses, and then you're also part of it. And okay, and in all this thing, I mean, now I think that also answers my another question that I have. How do you keep yourself motivated? But I think you have quite a lot of motivation because I think everyone's well disciplined. Everyone kind of thinks alike or they're like-minded. So I think it's a big part of your motivation. But is there anything that helps you precisely to be motivated by yourself? Is there any one thing that you want to probably talk about?
I think the motivation comes from always wanting to explore more or do more. It's just whatever you're doing is always, I'm always looking on to next thing.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. And I think one of the questions that after listening to this entire conversation in our virtual cast, I think people would definitely like to know that will you be interested in mentorship? Do people can reach out to you? Because I get personally a lot of messages because I did a virtual cast on dropshipping with a person called as Basanta Gharti, who's based out here in Nepal. So that was quite interesting. And I still get those messages whether this person is willing to mentor or not. So I want to ask the same question to you. Are you interested in mentorship? And if yes, then how do people reach out to you?
Let's see. Mentorship for me is very tricky. It's also very time consuming. So I would have to say no, I can't do a full time mentorship. But if you guys have any specific question, you can reach out to me and I will be more than happy to answer that.
Yeah, so I think what I can do is probably just in the description box, I can leave your Facebook and Instagram handle, which we generally do. So if people can want to reach out to you, reach out on a specific thing. Please be mindful, whosoever is listening, that make a best use out of it. So ask a specific question rather than very generic one. I think Diju, you need to know that there are so many people here in Nepal lately, and there's so many people who are messaging me where I'm not the person in a drop shipping, but I do understand that there are people in a different sector in digital marketing that I feel like sharing their journey, their stories, insights, tips, and hacks, whatever you call it. So please give them a message from your end as you have seen the highs and lows in this industry, and what are the things, what are the message so that they can be successful in their journey too.
Let's see, Shweta. Message to young entrepreneurs like भन्नु पर्दा सबभन्दा पहिलो चिज त focus on skills. Take your time to learn those skills because there is no way around it. There is no shortcut to it. And the second one has to be find a mentor or some kind of course which will help you understand the basic dynamic of the digital world, and it also helps you save lots and lots of time. And the third one has to be create a support group. For example, support anybody who is trying to make a mark in digital world, whether it's a small or big, because when times come around they will do the same. So it creates a support system, and everybody needs a support system.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, that's a beautiful closing note. So, on that note, I want to say thank you so very much for sharing a lot of things. And I'm sure here in Nepal, the Instagram space is growing, influencer space is growing. People are getting into online businesses. There's so many. So, I hope all of you have found something for yourself in terms of takeaway. And thank you so much, Rashmi Diju, for being here, for talking about your
Thank you, Shweta, for
journey.
having me.
Yay, we did it finally.
Finally.
Okay, so I'll wrap this up. And if you have any questions, please leave it in a comment section. And I'll ask Rashmi Diju to answer those comments as well. And if there's any question, probably that will be the better way to reach out so that I also get engaged.